I got a very interesting question. If you on Kick right now, what I need you to do is drop the Statman sticker. If you watching on Kick right now, nobody has to be a sub. That's the one good thing about watching on Kick. There's no ads. There's picture in picture, and you have 50 emotes. So do me a favor right now and drop that Statman sticker over there because he asked the question of the week. He's gonna get his own personal mailbag for this question, and I want y'all engagement with this question. Rendu T Ruff, what up? Now this is a great question. He said, "What was the best era of gaming by decade?" I'm an '80s baby, so '80s, '90s, 2000s, 2010s, and now the beginning of the halfway. We're 6 years into the 2020s. Whew, time go by. What was the best era of gaming to you? And I know some of y'all trying to like run this through y'all head right now. You're trying to really figure it out. I use AI. You know what I'm saying? We got to get out of the not want to use AI and AI is the devil. You remember when they used to say video games and hip hop was the devil? Hey, so I did a breakdown for y'all and I did it on my phone. So y'all can see. I'm gonna give y'all the consoles that came out, and then we're gonna start with consoles, and then that way it kind of gives you an easier window. Because if I just say games, like Roblox and GTA came out in the mid 2000s. 20 years later, they're still 75. Roblox came out in 2006. There's 75 million daily users on that game, so that's why I want to go back and break it down by console. All right, here's the 80s. Nintendo, Atari 2600, Sega Master System. You got the ColecoVision, the Intellivision, TurboGrafx 16, if y'all remember that. That's the 80s. The 90s, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Sony PlayStation, Nintendo 64, Game Boy, Sega Saturn, Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, and Windows 95 PC. That's the 90s. 2000s, PlayStation 2, Xbox, GameCube, PlayStation Portable, Nintendo DS, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, the Wii, PC, Steam, and this was the beginning of online gaming. All right, the 2010s, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation Vita, Wii U, the extension of Steam on PC, mobile gaming, iOS gaming, Android and Apple, Oculus Rift, 3DS, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, the reboot versions of the 60 that don't get the red rings of death. All right, now the 2020s, this is the live streaming era of gaming. PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and Series S, the OLED Nintendo Switch, Steam Deck, the VR gaming, gaming on the cloud, pretty much not that we're now in the 2020s, the era where you don't buy physical copies, and it's pretty predominant that you buy a car, you get a TV, you get a console. They don't even have a slot for a actual disc to go in for hardware. All right, so y'all tell me, after hearing that, what era would you say was the GOAT era of gaming? The 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, or the 2020s? And everybody's could be different. He said the 90s, Nintendo 64 was your life. Like the 90s, like I ain't gonna lie. I think the 90s is like, I got pictures playing video games in the 80s, and I always liked video games. I think the 90s for me was when gaming became a part of life. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Sony PlayStation, 64, Game Boy, Sega Saturn, Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, and Windows 95. Like the first time you had internet, AOL Instant You've got mail. You like that era right there. Like I think brought in the horizons of like portable phones. Everybody had the cordless phone in their house. Internet. The big PC with the big the monitor was so big in the back. It like all the weight was in the back of it. Like the 90s was kind of trailblazing. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that was the pure time of I could come ride my bike to your house and we finna sit side by side and play the game. I think the 90s was the golden era of like just falling in love with video games, going to Blockbuster, going to the arcade, going to like Babbage's, like you go to Toys R Us and they got the game that's locked in the cage. You in the mall, they got the game. I think that was the time of like physically being there with your boys, with your brothers, sisters, cousins, and playing the game. Becker say 90s, Squad say 90s, Nano say 2000s, but 64 was legendary. We lived in the best era, 85, mainly because it was a time where there was so much engagement with playing games and playing with your friends before online play was even a thing. 007, WrestleMania on Nintendo 64, WCW NWO Revenge. Bro, fire. Like somebody put me out and then like I'm on the outside of the ring and I like grab my brother's opponent and whip him up and throw him back in the ring. You feel me? You could rent a whole console from Blockbuster back in the day. Cliff, what's good? Yeah, Revenge was I would say like that was the age of like falling in love with a video game and the soundtrack and just fully getting immersed in a video game. Like I would say that was like the last of gaming before online play came in. Back there, there's kids now, and it's sad that they have this, but it's kids now that won't ever get the experience of having 4 controllers plugged up to a console and you and 3 of your friends are sitting next to each other playing split screen. Like nowadays, most people have never actually physically sat in a room with their friends and played video games. It's all been online. They've met people across the world, but nothing like having your friends. Cause now, like, when's the last time you played a video game with a friend or a family member sitting in the same room where y'all actually played the game? Like, it's kind of a lost art. Even I tell people when I played in some tournaments, some big tournaments, and you were live in an arena with a TV camera and you sitting next to your opponent, is completely different energy of sitting next to the person you playing as opposed to you online and this person is off screen. They don't even have the microphone on and you could be playing a ghost. Like, I think those are lost arts. And that's why, you love when you get to see some of the live events of just the raw energy of somebody sitting next to a person playing the game. It's like the GameStop tournaments back in the day. That was like something completely different. Smash Brothers. And what's crazy about that is that goes to tell you, Swab, that one of my wife's friends, her son has got a scholarship to a college here to Montevallo. He plays Smash Brothers on a college team. You just like back in that time of the 90s playing with your friend, like you could never think that somebody could get a college scholarship to play a game and then compete professionally and then like go to school and get a degree from playing Smash Brothers or Madden or whatever. The best because we had the co-op games with the homies. WCW No Mercy was peak wrestling gaming. It really was 90s and 2000s for you. They said, how many times have you heard, man, stop, he watching my plays. He watching my plays. It's like, so, and you think about that, the introduction of the internet and Napster and LimeWire and burning CDs, going from dubbing the tapes and dubbing the VHSs to DVDs, laser discs, and the internet, mobile phones. That's back when everybody had a landline house phone. in a cordless phone. Now it's like I don't know nobody who got a house phone. You know, it's like everybody got a cell phone now, got an iPhone, you got a camera in your phone, you got a recording device, you got a calculator, TI-83 Texas Instruments, big calculators, like you could do it all on your phone now. Big camcorder on the shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like this right here would make that thing seem like a large paperweight. But it's interesting to see everybody's era. I'm surprised more people didn't say the 2000s, like when you first got the nerves you had. I don't know about y'all, the nerves you had the first time you would load into a match online to play against somebody on a basketball game, a football game, a shooter. Like the nerves that would run through your body, not knowing, like you're playing somebody so random and it's not the computer. I think like the introduction of online gaming in the 2000s revolutionized gaming and changed gaming in like in such a different way. You know, that was the last time that people would camp out at the store to get the new games when they dropped. You know, it's like, you know, that the 2000s was like really the last of that. You know, because by the time we got to Xbox One and PlayStation 4, by the time we get around to that, it's the age of digital content, MP3s, not CDs, downloading music on. Went from iTunes, iPods to your iPod is your phone, Bluetooth earpieces. You know, everybody's stuff was kind of wired at that time. Man, like I remember like online playing Call of Duty, Black Ops. You just the I would say I would say the 2000s and the 2010s like took us somewhere where we didn't even know we was going. He said I can't tell you how many hundreds of hours I spent online playing Halo. And camp outs is no joke. Only house phones at grandma's house. You feel me? And in my case, like all the grandmas is gone. You know, it ain't no grandmas left. Suave ATL, what's good, my boy? Your girl call your mama. Hello. And they better ask nicely for you. They can't just say, can I speak to such and such? Like, you got to really be nice. You know, and then we get into the 2010s. I think 2010s to be an era that nobody will really say, oh, that was my favorite era, you know, because that became when gaming started being commercialized. You know, video games before then, I felt like was like skating. Like skating was the police come hit somebody with the billy club for skating at the park, to where skating is at the Olympics and they want you to skate. I think when you got into it commercialized to that point in the 2010s, that's when people start saying, wait, they cool with us. It almost made gaming feel weird because that was a time when actually there was a year 2015 I didn't even play video games for a whole year. Like I went cold turkey on them. It's like 2010s was a weird time of gaming where you didn't know if you was being taken for a ride, because you could feel what that next surge was. And what that next surge was the introduction of the 2020s of live streaming video games, YouTube, meta on all games, digital content, microtransactions really started peaking. The emergence of Facebook gaming, Twitch, all these platforms where people started, you know, playing games as a career.
Let
And
me
now
teach
like
you how to vibe.
the 2020s and up, you know, you see how fast things go and things change, to where now the biggest live streamers in the 2020s now don't play games. They just do IRL content. Podcast has taken over journalism, where the Shannon Sharps and the Joe Buttons, the Joe Rogans, the Sean Ryans of the world, you know, they run the world through live streaming podcasts, where, you know, we're now at the point where like being good at a game isn't a prerequisite for content. And now I feel like we've reached a point where now people are starting to not enjoy games. People are starting to be burnt out on games. They're starting to feel like the developers are so money hungry with microtransactions and trying to squeeze money and commercialize every single portion of the game, to where we all have to ask ourselves now in 2026, like, when's the last time you enjoyed a game, or you played a game that you enjoyed, or you and your friends or you and your community just have fun just playing a game? And the people that have made a career out of gaming are playing games they don't enjoy. They're going through the motions. People are chasing the new title that gets the views, but trying to make themselves have fun with a game they're probably not having fun with. Even to the point myself where I've limited the amount of time that I live stream the games, because watching back, and that's something that a lot of people don't do, I watch myself back and I am embarrassed at times about the emotional states of rage that I get playing something that I know is intentionally set out to frustrate you, to spend money to fix your problem. Couldn't you just line if you was on the computer? All right, you had to either get you a little side hustle or ask somebody to get that computer line. You feel me? Yeah, Mike, congratulations, man. You didn't have a cell phone till you was grown. Man, you need to been outside cutting some grass or washing some cars or doing something. They had you a little hustle, had a little part-time job when basketball season was over. I had me a little part-time job. I couldn't grab, burning CDs, throwing parties. Hey, listen, man, a little hustle, man, watches in the coat, man. Like, I got to have that. I got to have me some minutes on my phone, man. See, y'all don't remember that era of the first minute was free. You ain't need to put but like $10 on your phone, and then just somebody call you. They get to that about 50 seconds, you just hanging up. Bro, you better tell me what you gotta tell me in 50 seconds or less, bro. I am hanging up. I got that Nokia with that clips on. You could program the you could go to the website and get the keyboard keys, and then program take the little printed out piece of paper and program your phone to the hottest ringtone, you know what I'm saying, on the little Nokia. Where you could change the little face plate on that thing, man. You see them, they're free after 9 p.m. You feel me, Becker? Listen, man, some of y'all don't know.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Definitely can't remember you playing Madden the least amount of time you have this past year. And it's because, like, it's just my mental status. Like, and then, too, like, I'll be honest. See, that's why I say, like, the 2020s is, like, the commercialized and the soul has been sucked out of gaming, because when the season started, we did the college football tournament, and I spent a lot of time on college football when it dropped. I actually had fun. A lot of y'all was hopping in the Discord. We was talking, having conversations. It really fell out the shop the first month when college football came out. We had the tournament. The usual suspects, people started wilding out, going crazy, cussing you out. And then, we had the untimely death of the owner of the website, and it kind of took something away. Like, when we had the meetings to really have conversations about moving forward, I could tell nobody really wanted to, including myself, Rich, the people over there at HLX, because it let you know it's something bigger than a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I seen how people was reacting, like, still asking about it. Even I'm like, somebody's dad, somebody's son, somebody's brother, somebody's husband, somebody's family member, somebody's friend, somebody's best friend took their own life. And, like, mental health is a real thing, and you never know what somebody's going through. Even somebody that, the world views as a successful person, or you don't know what a person is mentally dealing with. And to see how people was reacting, like, but what's up with that Madden though? Like, bro, somebody died. Like, is it that serious? And then, Madden drops the first wave of Madden. You got the air trucking behind the line of scrimmage. You got the super expensive cards. You got people gadget putting people speed bursting behind the line of scrimmage. Then it was it's like every single month there's something that makes somebody be able to just completely break the game. And then I I let it go the last cycle of competition, and then you look and see they had Avalanche X Factors on for the last LCQ, and you just like, bro, come on, man. Like, are we ever gonna get to a point where you know GTA hasn't dropped that game because they're trying to make a game that will rival the game they just dropped that they're making so much money on? It's hard to replace something that you're still eating off of after such a long point of time. The Witcher was a game that I was ready to play, and they pushed The Witcher back, and Henry Cavill wound up not being Geralt. It's like on the TV show, all these different things. It's just like the industry of gaming has just completely sucked the life out of gaming, so to speak. And I don't know what it would take to put the soul back into gaming, the spark where you want to play with your friends. One thing about being a content creator and being a live streamer, that's one thing I really miss. Like, I don't play the games with my brothers. I don't play the games with my friends. I'm still in group chats. We still rap all the time. We still text each other when we can, but I don't play games with the people that I grew up with my life playing video games with. And I got pictures in my diapers, me trying to take the Nintendo stick from my daddy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just some things that now that my kids play games, and my daughter, you see her on YouTube playing mouse and keyboard or Roblox, and she's in there with her friend playing Roblox. So right now, I was just watching her for a second ago. Like, my wife played mobile phone games. Like, we got a house full of gamers and creators, but it just came a point now where actually just playing games, and if you wanted to humor yourself, go look up like the top game releases that are dropped this year, and like even see if it's a game, just one game that you'll be excited about playing if it releases. It's like James Bond in March was the only one that I seen that I was like, okay, like that game will come out and I'll give it a run and see if I can have some fun with it. Because The Witcher was probably the Witcher, the whole entire where you could buy like all the Witchers and play them back to back to back. Probably the last game that I like bought and played and would just really enjoy playing it. Quentin hitting the record while it sounds playing on the radio off your stereo system. Yo, I'm thankful I still enjoy Pokemon. See your favorite offline game. I can relive this time and genuinely enjoy yourself. Yeah, it's not a lot of games that now you could just like go download, buy, play the game, and have fun with your people. It's like it becomes a thing where even like today, like I was like, all right, it's season 7. They got a Cam Ward card. Let me get Javon Curse and Cam Ward and Chris Johnson, Randy Moss, Nick Westbrook, get some Titan legends and play the game.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
Like, no disrespect, but when people like, yo, let me get a game, da-da-da, it's like, it's not even somebody genuinely like, let's play and we're gonna get in the Discord and talk and have some fun and shoot the shit. It's gonna be, you trash, da-da-da. It's like, I can't even get just a fair game. Like, y'all know, before I changed my gamer tag, every time I load into a game, people just pause the game and then go turn their headset on and just start wilding out, before every game I get ready to play. And it's like, man, I can't even just get a solid game just rap with the community. Cause y'all know I'm 99% cap, 1% gameplay, 100% vibes. The game is just on in the background. I'm here for the engagement and the conversation. And I've always been it. I've already, from day one, if y'all go back and look at my first gaming streams, that's been my motto, is the game is on in the background. I'm just having fun with it. Just meeting people all around the world and trying to have fun with it. So that I thought that was a great, you want the Wolverine game? I thought that was a great question though by Statman. Shout out to Statman, making us give a rundown of nostalgia of the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. what was the best decade of gaming. It seems to be that everybody's favorite decade was the 90s because that was before the internet took over gaming and back when gaming was still somewhat pure. I think that's why when a show like Stranger Things is so huge globally because it's nostalgic. It took everybody back to the 80s, the music, the clothes, the hair, the mall, how things were going and playing games at your friend's house in the basement, and that just the lore of like you said, Pokemon, Magic, baseball cards. You want to get somebody's rookie card, like all those things, physical CDs, tapes. The release of albums, movies being an event pre-COVID when you go to the movies. When a movie drops and get some popcorn. Just different things like that. I feel like a lot of a lot of our past of how we just personally enjoy things have been commercialized, and it may never be the same again. But I think this has probably been one of the best questions I got in the mailbag. And if y'all got any other questions about any other topics like this, it don't have to just be sports. Y'all could drop it and we could go in on it. I feel like our community is pretty diverse and we talk about pretty much any and everything. And it's a free space, an open space for anybody to comment or engage on what they thought it was. Blockbuster was a great time, like rent two, get one free on the weekends or something. You know what I'm saying? Even Redbox. It's some kids that don't even know what Redbox is. Like when Redbox came and put Blockbuster out of business, when you could go pick up you a couple Red Boxes and not even deal with nobody. Electric Green Box was the home base. Man, like, the different controllers, going back to the two buttons, the Atari with the stick, going to the arcade and playing the games, NBA Jam, all like, the first Game Gear and Game Boys with Tetris and all the just different things that have came out over the years. I'm always going to be a gamer at heart. I'm always going to love gaming. But there has to be something that comes and puts the soul back into gaming in order for, because a person will come and say the numbers of this many online players or this amount of microtransactions, or now we got MCS and Madden and you got ALGS and Apex and you got the leagues and different things like that, you got people going to school on scholarship for playing games. But I just feel like the true essence of gaming right now, the soul has been sucked out, and I wonder if it'll ever go back. And sometimes things progressing and growing, change is always inevitable. Whether it's change for the better or change for the worse, like you have to change, or you can't go backwards and stay stagnant. That's like the equivalent of death. But just the thought of like that, the progression that it has, what toll has the internet taken to gaming, and the commercialization of that gaming is in live streaming is a billion dollar industry and controls the influence of most of the people around the world. They said kids nowadays will flip if you tell them Netflix used to be a mail-in DVD service. Man, but see, it just all starts with an idea. And it might be one of y'all in the chat, or it might be one of y'all watching that sparks the idea that changes gaming. Because just remember, somebody is a time when people thought, video games was the devil. And now, lo and behold, people that was telling people to get off the internet, and internet was going to be come and go, and gaming was going to be a waste of somebody's life. And some people have turned and made entire lives around those things. So it could be somebody watching or somebody listening that changes the fate of gaming as we know it.